Well, well, well. What game do we have here? It's time. Who up Nenning they impact? It's not exactly an understatement to say this game has had a troubled release. I've made videos before talking about a lot of the flaws of Nen Impact. I think for a lot of people that I've talked to, Evo France was kind of the last big thing before moving to other stuff. And the story might end there, except there is a whole goddamn season pass of DLC characters still coming out for this game. Despite all of its flaws, I still have a huge soft spot for Nen Impact. Underneath the issues with lack of crossplay, netcode still isn't great, although it is better. The single player content is still pretty rough. I still think at its core, Nen Impact scratches an itch for me that no game since like Marvel 3 has done. I'll put a link in this video's description to the Nen Impact Discord where the remaining players coordinate games, if anyone's curious. But anyway, as one of Nen Impact's strongest soldiers, I think I owe it to this game to at least document the DLC characters before they get lost to time. So today, I'm going to be giving you guys a breakdown of the first Nen Impact DLC character. It's everyone's favorite, adorable murderer that's also a cat, that's also actually an ant and not a cat. Neferpitou, aka Keto. Look at that cutie. I'm sure this is a friendly character who's never done anything wrong. It's just an adorable kitty cat, right? Also, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit subscribe. Let's get into it. I think there's also a new stage. This one, East Gorto Palace Garden. It actually looks kind of cool. I actually think this is one of the better stages in the game, the new stage. It looks pretty nice. I like the kind of parallax effect it has with the different depth of field of like the background. Egg trees. Don't worry about it. Put Kite on the team too, smile. All right, I see what you're doing. All right, so I guess I'll give you a quick rundown of like Pitou stuff. So just as an overview, Pitou is a fairly mobile character. I think Pitou is actually a very good beginner character, which is weird because Pitou is the first DLC character. Good mobility, a couple of good buttons, good mix-ups, just a quite good all-rounder character. I don't think Pitou is a top tier. I don't think Pitou has the level of like insane gorilla power level you need to be a top tier in this game. But I think Pitou is pretty solid overall. But anyway, let's start with the normals. So Pitou's lights and mediums are pretty average. The lights are pretty short. Mediums are pretty short. But Pitou's best normals by far are their heavies. So 5H is like a jump scare. So like you're just in neutral and it's like bam. This is a crazy 5H. 2H is also really good. Similar range. So like that, you can like start combos from very far away very quickly. So 5H is definitely Pitou's best normal, I think, on the ground. And then Pitou has one weird command normal. A lot of characters in this game have a command normal on 6H, and Pitou technically does as well. But it's very weird. So this is Pitou's 6H. This is technically a normal. That. So the 6H is actually a kind of command dash thing, and it can also pass through the opponent. Like that. Also, this dash is projectile invincible. So this can go through fireballs in the middle. And this is definitely a very useful tool for mix-ups. So a good example is cool and assist, like this, and then do that. Have fun blocking the left-right, you know? But it gets a lot crazier than that. There's actually a lot more to the dash, but I'll mention that in a second when we cover one of Pitou's specials. But things get much crazier than just the basic left-right. That's a sick reference. I mean, the one thing I will say about Nen Impact's visual presentation is that almost every single attack is usually directly referencing a panel from the manga. So like, for all of its flaws, it is actually very faithful in the fact that you can tell it was made by people who are actually Hunter x Hunter fans. Anyway, specials. So, neutral arts, which is this. The arts button is the special button in this game, is this. And this dive, it doesn't look that impressive at first glance, but this has a bunch of silly properties which you can abuse. So, this thing crumples on hit. So if you ever hit someone with this, you just get a full combo afterwards because it crumples. This is also armored. And if you guys don't know, armor in Nen Impact is like one of the most obnoxious things in this game. Almost all the best characters in this game are armored characters. Pitou isn't quite as good as abusing armor as like Uvogin. But even still, this is an armored move. Yeah. So it's armored and you get a full combo if it hits. Now, this move is actually chargeable. So if you hold down the arts button, Pitou charges it up. And if you charge it, it becomes a full screen move that will hit from anywhere. You can also cancel out of the charge at any time into dash. Oh, I didn't even mention this. Hang on, I completely forgot to mention the most important part of this. Wait, I forgot one important feature of this move. Chat, what do you guys think this move is on block? I'll let you guys weigh in on this one. +4, +5, +10. It's funny that you guys are so wrong because actually I misled you. This move is a guard break on block. It's not even a case of plus frames, it's a case of unblockable. I kind of set you guys up for that one. So yeah, full screen armored unblockable. This kind of illustrates the power level of characters in this game, that I don't think Pitou is that impressive, but at the same time this character has a full screen armored unblockable special that's dash cancelable. Okay, so let's move on. So Pitou's forward special is this. It's a 3-hitting slash, and this is mostly combo filler, because it wall bounces, I believe. Yeah, this is mostly a combo tool. You can also use it to, like, lock your opponent down in block. Not much to say about that one. It's mostly just combo slash pressure kind of move. Okay, now it's time for the Brain Destroyer. So, a minute ago, I showed you guys that Pitou's 6H is a command dash which can pass through the opponent. So, that's pretty straightforward. Where things get kind of crazy is Pitou's back special is this. It's basically like a double dash, forward then back. And this special can also side switch on both of the dashes. So if you're up close, Pitou does this. So you can side switch back to the same side. And where things get really stupid is that you can cancel forward heavy, this move, into the double dash, which is this move. And if you do that, it looks like this. Combine this with an assist, and as usual, this is kind of like a good luck blocking this. Like, what side am I even on right now if you do stuff like this? What side did that hit on? So yeah, lots of tricky movement with the command dashes and the ways that you can combine them together. Okay. Pitou's crouch special is this. Not a whole lot to say about this one either. This is, again, mostly combo filler. It's a launcher. It's kind of like a upwards launcher. You can dash cancel this on hit to extend the combo, so you can do stuff like this. But yeah, that one's mostly just for combos. It gets the opponent into the air, and then you can do a dash cancel. Okay, and Pitou's last special move is Jump Special, or Jump Arts, which... This is quite a complicated move, so... It's a dive, right? You dive diagonally down at about a 45-degree angle, and you hit the opponent. And it also does a ground bounce on hit, like that. In general, in this game, dive moves are pretty good because you can usually combine them with quick gear, which is kind of like this game's version of a Roman cancel. So yeah, you can come down with this move and then quick gear cancel and then do like an overhead. There's lots of ways you can change your air approach if you combine this with quick gear. Where this move gets kind of interesting is that similar to the ground arts, you can actually also charge this move. So this is chargeable in the air. And what charging this move does is it makes the move tracking. So rather than just coming down at a 45-degree angle, it will home in on the opponent from any angle, including directly above them. So this can be incredibly nasty when it comes to incoming mix-ups. So sometimes it'll hit in front. Sometimes this move can also cross up for no reason. That was a cross-up. It's quite similar to Bisky's Jump N. You can also dash cancel the charge of the dive. So you can start charging it and then change your mind. And this gives Pitou kind of a unique option when it comes to air stalling. So in this game, there's like no characters that have good ways of staying in the air for extended periods of time. But if you take advantage of the dash cancel on the air special, you can actually stay in the air for like unusually long in this game. Oh, and the last property of this move that is, again, kind of weird is that you can dash cancel it. You can actually dash cancel it even on whiff. Like that. Which, again, gives Pitou a lot of, like, unique air movement that isn't generally available in this game. And you can also do stuff like that. So if you make your opponent block this move, you can also dash cancel into an air normal and then go for a mix. This is especially annoying in the corner. And do stuff like that. Alright, so let's talk Pitou's supers. And one of them is kind of crazy. So let's start with Pitou's level 1 super, which is this. And this level 1 super is a pretty basic, average super in this game. What it does have going for it is that this thing is loopable. So a lot of characters in this game, especially the best ones, have the ability to loop level 1s. So Pitou can loop this. If you had 5 bars of super, you could theoretically go the whole way. Wouldn't be a great usage of resources, but it is an option. Pitou also has a level 3, which is this. Like most level 3s in this game, this is invincible on startup. It does good damage. It's mostly just kind of a combo ender. It does give you an OTG afterwards, so Pitou can actually do level 3 into level 1. If you want to, you can keep going after level 3. Now, usually that's where the supers would end, but Pitou has an ace up their sleeve. Pitou is the only character in the game who has a 5-bar super. And if you guys don't know, the only way you can even get 5 bars of super in this game is for both of your teammates to die. It's kind of King of Fighters rules. So both of your teammates have to die for you to even have the ability to get 5 bars. And how do you activate the 5-bar super? I'm going to start giving Marvel 3 players PTSD in a moment. Yep, that's right. It's Dark Phoenix. Welcome back. So yeah, if you have 5 bars of super, when Pitou dies, then you revive with the Terpsichora. And you also get this unique animation of the puppeteering effect. Now, the first thing to say is that when you revive with the 5-bar super, Pitou doesn't revive to max health. I think you get 50% back. And what does this super actually do? So, you get a damage boost when this is active. So, all of your moves just do more damage. You get a basic damage multiplier. You also get a defense boost when this super is active. So, that even though you only have 50% health, it's actually a bit more than that because you have a defense multiplier. And you also get a speed boost. So, you'll notice that the 6H, the command dash, this now goes like almost full screen. So Pitou's already good movement options kind of get cranked up to 11. I should also add that the damage multiplier you get from having this active does also stack with the other 2 damage multipliers in the game, which is quick gear and overgear. So if you guys want to do the silly, you can. If you want to activate all 3 at the same time, you can do this. And then let's see how long it takes for me to kill this character. Start the timer, ready? Speed run, kill Leorio. And he's dead. You blink and you miss it. Also, just a random side note, but I actually think there's a bug with revived Pitou that I guess is worth mentioning. So, in this game, if you have overgear active, which is this game's version of like X Factor, it's the main comeback mechanic. One of the effects of this install is that your dashes get a hitbox. So when you forward dash, it actually hits the opponent like this. This is universal. Every single character in the game gets a hitbox on their dash when they're in overgear. For some reason, and I think this is probably a glitch, I'm not certain, Pitou doesn't have a hitbox on their dash if they have the revive active. So, for whatever reason, there's no hitbox on the dash. Probably a bug, don't know for sure, just thought it's worth mentioning. Literally unplayable. So, if you guys are sort of thinking this revival super exists, should I play Pitou on Anchor? I actually think the answer is probably not. You can kind of put Pitou anywhere on a team, but I think Pitou actually needs assists to take advantage of their, like, mix-up options. And the problem is that if you have the revival, it means both your teammates are dead and you don't have access to assists. So, like, even though you have all these crazy movement options, you can't really take advantage of them without an assist. So I actually don't think playing for the revival is that good. There is also one massive weakness of the Terpsichore, which I'm going to actually show you some match footage for this one. So this is a match from, what tournament was this? This was TNS. Yeah, this was from TNS a few weeks ago. And this was the losers final. And we have, this is Yo Deadman, who I think is probably the best Pitou player playing this game. And Yo Deadman is down to final character. Pitou is all that remains, but does have the 5 bars. And you guys are probably going to see why this super, as it turns out, is actually not as good as Dark Phoenix. So
we have 5 bars here for Pitou.
So Pitou dies to Bisky rush down.
Over here, Bisky though. High potential to be able
revives.
And stick out as many active hitboxes as we can.
And then wakes up into a guard break and dies.
Great situation, honestly, Joey.
Yeah, so this is kind of one of the issues with the revival, is that in Marvel 3, when Dark Phoenix revives, it's a huge explosion that basically resets the situation back to neutral. Kind of the issue with Pitou's revival is that it's incredibly slow. So like, look at how long this takes to happen, right? So Pitou dies here, falls to the floor. This whole time you're completely actionable to set up whatever you want. There's like 3 seconds of delay, and then the revival happens. And at that point, you're basically waking up into a mix-up. You kind of get forced into like an incoming mix-up almost. It's Dark Phoenix if Phoenix woke up off the ground over the course of 5 seconds with no explosion on the activation. So yeah, it's very, very hard to actually take advantage of the revival because most of the best characters in this game will just set up some grimy mix-up like this. This is a guard break. Bisky's super here is literally an unblockable if you don't Nen stance. This is a guard break and then you just die. The good news, however, is that if you play Pitou as not a combat character but more of an assist character that you bring in and out, I think that's where Pitou is much better positioned. Because I haven't actually talked about Pitou's assists yet, and Pitou actually has really good assists. But Pitou's neutral assist is this. The neutral special. And this actually retains all of the same properties of Pitou's version of the move when you do it on point. So this move is armored, and it will crumple on hit. Like that. It'll just cut through the attack and then give you a crumple. The best assist, in my opinion, that Pitou has is the side assist, which is this. So the side assist is the triple hit special. But the reason this move goes from being like okay to amazing as an assist is because of how long this thing stays out for. It gives you so much lockdown. So if you want to just lock down your opponent while you do like horrifying mix-ups in the background, this is a great assist for that. So this is a really good assist. It's also very good for combos. So I guess I'll just finish up by showing you guys a couple of like the combo theory with Pitou. Crouch N, jump heavy, jump N, and this loop will work about 3 times in a row. So very easy to get started with. You can also end the combos with the dive to extend a little bit further. Like that. That's just something to get you started. generally you don't use a huge amount of specials in Pitou combos. So yeah, Pitou has good mix-up options, good movement, good assists. Overall, pretty well-rounded character, but not quite broken enough to be up there with the top-tier monsters. The Phoenix function is a little bit underwhelming. But anyway, I'll be back with more of these whenever the next DLC characters drop. I think the next one is Finks, and then Shizuku, and then Zeno last. So I will see you guys all in the next video.